This podcast is an expression of the personal views and opinions of the hosts and guests, and they do not represent the official stance of the podcast, its sponsors, or affiliated organizations. The podcast may cover topics such as drugs, mental illness, politics, and religion, which can be controversial or sensitive. The podcast does not support any illegal activities and advises listeners to seek help from appropriate professionals for any personal concerns related to these topics. The information provided in the podcast is for general informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for professional advice. Listeners are urged to consult with a qualified healthcare professional for any questions regarding their mental or physical health. The podcast and its creators are not responsible for any loss or harm resulting from the use or reliance on the information provided in the podcast.
Turn my mic up.
Let's get it on.
What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Jay, and joining me tonight here on the Street Stoics podcast is Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Not much. How's it going?
Going good, man. How you been?
I've been good. Just raising a baby and a teenager. So
Yeah, it's been a few
yeah, it
a
has.
few weeks. We haven't been able to get on the
Yeah,
same schedule, but hey, we're here tonight. Nate isn't able to join us tonight. He'll be joining
yeah,
us next week. Um, yeah, just quick little recap. Last week, me and Nate were discussing kind of a little bit of the hiatus that we had there and the reasons why. Um, we also was pretty much we're going into some information as far as what state of mind we're currently in and some of the issues that we might be having to stay consistent. Um, just give us a little recap how you've been and how you've tried to stay consistent with everything, Mike.
well, I've been off work since September 4th, I think. Um, just with the new baby and everything. And it's been an adjustment, for sure, to be any consistent. I was the first couple weeks I was off, I was doing really good with my reading and journaling and all that, working out, and then uh, with life circumstances that kind of changed. I was in the emergency room for an afternoon. That's why I couldn't get on when you guys were recording. My mom hurt herself pretty bad, but she's on the mend. She's doing good. But just with stuff like that,
Oh man.
it's been there's been lots of obstacles, but nothing that I shouldn't overcome. It's always an adjustment when you're responsible for a tiny human, as well as other family obligations, and just life obligations. So, um, but yeah, it's my frame of mind and my mindset, honestly, has not been great. I think with not working and just being at home, that's really kind of getting to me. I'm ready to get back at it and start this life with my growing family.
Yeah, man. I completely understand
Yeah,
how little humans take priority in a lot of your
right,
time of your day.
right.
I mean, that's what happens, with me.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to stay consistent when you have plans or you want to, you know, put this time towards doing stuff for yourself to improve yourself, but as us that we have, our family and we have kids, you know, that requires our time. And it's a balance, man. It's a balance that we just gotta get it right because at the end of the day, they take our priority obviously, but we we still can find that
Right.
time from time to time in there. And even if it's not daily, I mean, if you can try to get it in, a couple of days out of the week, it's good enough, man. It's good enough.
Right.
Um, I'm finding myself in that situation where um, I work, a schedule where I work 12 hours a day, 3 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week. Um, that takes a lot of
Yeah.
time, a lot of my time in the day. So it's hard. It's hard to stay consistent when I have a schedule like that. But the good thing is, I'm on my feet, and that also leads me to some of the information you were saying regarding being cooped up, being home all the time. When I had that job where I was working remote all the time at home, I felt different. I felt different than how I've been
Right.
feeling lately. Um, Being able to get out of the house is definitely a plus.
For sure.
Uh, remote work is very comfortable and convenient and all the the good stuff about it. But the negative things that I've experienced is that that lack of socializing, that lack of going outside,
Hmm.
daily, um, can be a problem.
Right.
Could definitely be a problem. That's a good negative there that I wouldn't suggest that type of job for anybody that has those type of issues. Somebody that likes to be a little bit more social or be out more in other environments like that. If you're that type of person, remote work might not be that
Right.
good
Right.
for you.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so we have these quotes that we wanted to kind of start our podcast with here. This might also be another short episode like last week. It's just kind of getting us through here to the next one. So as you guys can tell, I'm able to record out of my garage where I tend to do my work now. Don't have my own room. So yeah, we're gonna keep this one short. We're still trying to get a couple of things set up, and um, the quote that I had selected here for me right now, I feel that I'm in a headspace that I haven't been in a long time, and that's one where I'm super calm, super indifferent about a lot of the things that are going on. Um, it's there's a lot going on right now, and I'm talking about just out in the world and a lot of the stuff in the news. And I'm trying to keep a set a how would I say it, a mindset in which I don't want to get too caught up in any of that stuff, like the information that's coming out as far as this war that's starting in the Middle East, and it's hard. It's hard to not get caught up in any of that stuff because, people have their opinions on it, and to be honest, I don't have any. It's such a messed up situation on both sides. It's it's scary times, but I think right now the best thing to do is just kind of spend time with your close family, just make that priority. Don't get caught up too much in that stuff, because I know that had I had this happened maybe a good 5, 6 months ago, I probably would have been checking the news hourly, constantly trying to get updates on it. Right now, I'm just trying to keep distance from a lot of things, along with, staying off of social media as much as possible, just for the sake of having more time and being able to have a nice clear head, focused. It's helping me a lot. I mean, I go to work, I go to work, put my headphones in, and do my job and clock out. I before I used to worry about trying to have interactions with people and trying to make friends and trying to, all that stuff. I I'm focused on one thing right now with this job that I'm working at, and that's pretty much where my mind is. So it's like I have to stay focused on it. I can't be, getting involved in any situations where I'm trying to make friends with people and get caught up in just dumb work related stuff. So overall, uh, um, the quote that I had actually picked regarding this, and it really right now speaks a lot to it, which is in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you by Deepak Chopra. I think that now, especially now, is the best time to just be still, um, and just calm, level-headed, as much as possible with a lot of the stuff that's going on. Um, because a lot of it is just a lot of it is just fear. It's to put fear in people and to feel uneasy, and that's the last thing that anybody wants to be going through right now, especially in what seems to be very hard times for a lot of people, especially with inflation and everything that's happening around this country. It's hard. It's very difficult not to worry, not to wonder what might happen. Um, it's a tough situation, but I think right now, for me at least, maybe it helps a lot of other people out. Just trying to kind of keep an indifferent approach to it is probably best. Just kind of stay focused on whatever it is that you got going on daily in your life. Um, just that's what should take priority. That's what should be important. What's happening now? What's happening here in my area, in my home, in my community, and just yeah, keep still, keep calm during this time.
Life is hard for a lot of people right
Yeah, right now
now.
it's hard, man. It's
Yeah.
difficult just to see kind of some of the things that are going on around this country, in other countries. It's it can be overwhelming, especially if you're consuming all that information and everything that comes with it. It it's scary. It's strange. It's strange to actually go through this and and have this feeling of wow, I didn't think this would ever like I would ever
Hmm.
experience this. But I mean, we are part of this reality that has existed for however many countless years, and back in the days they had huge problems that came up because people had differences and whatever the situation was, and there should not, I mean, we're not nothing special to think that we can avoid something like that from happening to us.
Right.
So this is um this is only letting us know that you can't ever get too comfortable
Right.
in situations because you know things can improve, let's say within the next 5 years, and you can kind of expect or you know not actually put your hopes up that that'll never happen again because it could definitely happen again when we're living it through it now, and we'll see how long it takes.
Right. Right. Well, I wanted to add something to what you're saying there. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And when you were talking, it really resonated with me. You know, we're unique people with ununique problems. you know, uh, when you're like you're saying, the best thing is to just focus on what's important to you, you know, and making sure that you're okay, you know,
Hmm.
and um, that that's the big thing, you know, for sure. Um, my quote, um, my quote is from Marcus, and it's, if all men refuse to believe that he lives a simple life, modest and content, he is neither angry at any of them, nor does he deviate from the way which leads to the end of life, to which a man can come pure, tranquil, ready to depart, and without any compulsion, perfectly reconciled to his lot. Um, you know, the first part of that, it really, to me, what it's saying is being comfortable with your uncomfortable circumstances, you know, and like what you're talking about, um, in these uncertain times of war, and you know, people are struggling financially, man. uh you kind of have to embrace it, you know, because when times get better, um you're going to appreciate them much more. You know, I know, um just in the last, you know, since I've been off work, you know, I've had to take a different approach to a lot of things, and um, some of my approaches have worked, and some of them haven't. You know, and that's, um, you know, that's what we have to work towards, is making sure that we don't leave any stones unturned by the time that we have to leave this world. Um, and with all of the issues that are going on, there's we're stepping over stones with treasure underneath them, and we're not taking advantage of what's there. Um, so um,
I like that, what you just said there. That was good. You're leaving
yeah,
treasures in the stone
right.
unturned. Yeah, that's
So,
a good one.
yeah. Sometimes I come up with some good stuff. Sometimes, uh, but it's usually it's accidental. um, you know, part of you know, is keeping yourself accountable. Um, you know, I've been, you know, maybe this is too much information, but you know, I've been going through a lot of counseling recently, um, just to help me deal with the changes that are going on in my life, past traumas and stuff like that. Um, you know, that sense of accountability, that I know that I need to be the best I can be, because I have people depending on me. Um, you know, there's it's really easy to get into um, that tailspin of, you know, the world's falling apart, my life sucks. Um, if I could just make this much money, if I just could get out of where my, you know, where I'm living, whatever, you know, like you, for instance, you did something about it. You went and you moved, and you're making you made a better choice for you and your family, you know, and that's the accountability I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And uh, quite honestly, I haven't kept myself accountable, and um, that's something that's been the change in mindset. You know, I have to be accountable so that when I die, uh, I am reconciled. I'm completely reconciled with everything. I'm not leaving any stones unturned. You know, I'm going back. I'm going back to those stones that I missed, just to see if there's anything there. You know.
Yeah. That's something that I have that I've thought about recently, which is just pretty much when that day comes, when I leave this reality here, this plane of existence, that at the end of the day, I don't feel that I wish that I would have, that I did whatever it is in my life. That I feel that okay, I'm happy with what I was able to do with the time that I was here. That's the goal. That's
Right.
what I'm focusing on now, which is
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether I got to do the things that I wanted to do or not, that at the end of the day, at least I tried and that I worked on trying to accomplish some things. I'll be happy with that.
Right.
That's my goal
Right.
to get to that point and just be able to say I'm good. I'm happy with how things turned out. And that
Right.
obviously is keeping things simple, and that's kind of where I'm at now, and just kind of going off of what you were saying. I'm sorry that I had to cut you off. Um, the
Oh, no worries.
the mention of embracing some of the hard times, right? Embracing some of the difficult situations that you're going to encounter. I only see those now as um, kind of like a workout, having to go through that, uncomfortable thing, uncomfortable situation that you're in, because it only makes you stronger. It only makes you more adaptable. It makes you more um, tolerant to a couple things, um, and that's how I'm treating things now. It's like I could, say, damn, like I wish I still had my own office, my own space where I can do all of this, and it's my own room, my own everything, right? It can't be that. It can't be because of kind of goals and plans that me and my wife set up, and then this is the best that I can do. Cool.
Right.
I'll make the best out of it, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about that situation too. Like right now, I'm working at a job where I'm actually making less money than the job that I had before, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks. Obviously, you get used to a certain lifestyle, a certain amount of income coming in, and then you change that by getting a job that pays you less than what you were making before. So there's some things that I've had to adapt and change, and it's fine. Why? Because I've I realize that some of the most memorable moments that me and my wife have had with all the moves that we've had is those instances where we had to start fresh, start new, and
Mm-hmm.
struggle to eventually gain things, purchase things that we needed to make things more comfortable. But the times that we talk
Mm-hmm.
about more are those fun times now. We see them as, but obviously in those times we didn't appreciate
Right.
them. So now that's what I'm sticking to, appreciating all of that, all of the struggles, all of the issues that we might
Right.
encounter. Like, I'm sure it's going to be fun in the wintertime here, having to figure out how to
Right.
drive in that mess. So I'm just, I welcome it with open arms. I mean, that's the mindset that I'm in, is just kind of whatever comes, and I'm gonna have to try to get through it. And that's just how things
Right.
are. That's how things should be in life, where we, and this is going back again on the topics that we've had before about comfort and getting out of the comfort zones and being able to do something about situations. Sometimes we're too comfortable and we're stuck in comfort, that it prevents us from
Mm-hmm.
growing or being able to do those things that we have always wanted to accomplish. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand why you picked that quote.
Right. Yeah. What we're talking about, and I don't know if we have time to go into it tonight, but I heard something the other day, and it's from Jocko. He said it on his podcast, and there you can find it if you just go to any search engine and type in "good" by Jocko Willink. It will come up. Um,
That is a
and
good one.
yeah, uh, you know, basically what it's saying is that you're taking, when these hardships come and these hard things pop up in your life, good,
Yep.
good that they're coming. So like you're saying, when you can look back and you can appreciate those hard times, and take something from them and learn from that, that that's how we're going to get through these difficult times. So, um, as hard as it is to just say good, that's what we have to do. you know, dang, I don't have money to put gas in my tank. Good, I get to stay home. I get to stay home with my family. You know,
Yeah.
uh, that's you know yeah, I don't have enough money to buy the groceries that I'm used to buying. Good. I get to lose some weight, you know.
There's always a positive
But
to the negative that you're experiencing.
right,
Is yeah.
right.
It's
Yeah.
it's about just flipping the coin and seeing the backside of that and seeing what the opposite of that situation is and just saying, okay, well, yes, this situation sucks. Yes, I don't like that I'm going through this, but and then coming up with the positive of it. And
Yeah,
that's the best approach to
good.
life. That's a good, yeah, good, good. Yeah, I
Yep.
love that quote. I listen to it every couple of months. I'll do a search and I'll find it. I think I've seen a different version of someone else reading it as well, and he has another one that
Yeah.
is similar to that as well. Um, don't remember right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's full of a whole bunch of good stuff. I love listening to his stuff. So, but I highly recommend, if you're going through it right now, go find that. Um, I started a quote log, so as I'm reading, or if I hear something, I just put that in there. I have Rudyard Kipling's "if" on that, and then that "good," and so I just read that every time I sit down at the computer,
Nice.
um, just as a reminder. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely go
I
check that
just
out.
remembered I just remembered one more positive thing about working remote that I'm kind of just going through that right now in my head about like feeling a little unprepared for this episode and just kind of thinking how prepared I used to always be, and that was because I was always home thinking about recording the podcast
Right,
episode. So so now I have
right,
to figure out, I'm thinking in my head, I have to figure out specific time in my days where I have to set aside so that I can focus and think on, topics for the podcast, things to discuss, quotes to bring up. So it's another task that I
right,
it just popped up in my head right now, just to think, okay, I've been missing
right.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's part of the whole getting acclimated to the new home that we're in, uh, especially now since I have a new job with a whole new schedule, time frame of work. So I'm still trying to figure out the balance on that. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
right.
Yeah,
Good, good. and
good.
and you'll get something out of it too. That's the good. Yeah, yeah.
You got anything else on that quote?
Um, just memento mori. I know we've brought it up a lot, but I think that um, phrase, memento mori, really applies to this. Remember, you must die. And what do you want? What legacy do you want to leave? You know, my grandpa, he's 90, um, and of course, I'll be devastated when he's gone. He's been such a big part of my life for so long, my whole life. Um, but it's hard to be sad for somebody that's that's lived such a full life. Um, he's raised five kids. Um, from those kids, he has 11 grandchildren, and then from those grandchildren, he now has 14 great grandchildren. So he's left quite the legacy. He wouldn't say that he's left any sort of legacy, but he's a teacher. So most of my community worships the man. Um, he's seen every Major League Baseball park. He's been to a game in every Major League Baseball park. So um,
Nice.
it's hard to be sad for somebody's life that they've done everything that they've wanted to do. And when when I die, that's I don't want people to be sad about what I may have left behind. You know, and by unfinished things left behind. That's um, luckily I have a good example of what that looks like. So um, yeah, this quote hit me hard when I read it and put it down on my log. Um, if it was shorter, I'd probably get it tattooed on my body somewhere. But um, uh, it's a good quote, and I hope whoever's listening and all the listeners get something out of that quote, and hopefully it gets them through these pretty unprecedented times. So
Definitely. Hopefully, and
yeah,
I'm sure, as it had an impact on you, that quote probably has had an impact on thousands and probably millions of people, and it probably will have impact on someone else
right,
listening to this. So, yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure probably
hopefully,
somebody's gonna, yeah. Uh, Going back on that memento
yeah,
mori topic, and you were saying about leaving some sort of legacy for yourself or feeling accomplished in life. It reminds me of something that I thought about. I don't remember if it was last week. Um, so, like you, I've also had my shares of um, negative things that go through my head in the past. And something that I thought about recently was how different it feels for me now, in which I feel like I appreciate life a whole lot more than what I used to before in the
hmm
past. Because in the past, I actually used to wish that I would die.
hmm
And I used to just want not to exist here because I didn't like my situation. I didn't like things in how they weren't going my way in life. And
hmm
now to just internally, obviously, analyze how my mindset is and how I feel about life, it surprises me. It surprises me how different it is now. Because um, I think obviously one of the major factors in this is the fact that I am a father. I'm a father of three girls that
hmm
I feel now that everything as far as that I used to do for myself or wanted to do for myself is no longer my goal in life. It's not something that I'm trying to accomplish some sort of goal in life just for myself. I think everything now, as far as life is, it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of to make sure that my daughters have a better, you name it, better upbringing, better school system, a better environment
Right.
to grow up in, a better everything. Um, and that's also going on to your topic of conversation about kind of leaving a legacy internally and within my family. I want to be able to be that. I don't have to demonstrate that to no one else, but to my
Right.
my my wife, my daughters, that they at whatever
Mm-hmm.
age in life have that appreciation that yeah, my father, my husband was this person, and that's now kind of my motivation of living. My motivation of I need to demonstrate that I am
Mm-hmm.
this type of person, and that just like your grandfather, I want to be a teacher to my daughters, and even whatever comes
Mm-hmm.
after them, be able to provide knowledge to them on whatever things about life. Because I think a lot of times that is an
Mm-hmm.
issue that we all have in life, where there's knowledge that isn't always passed down, you know, and I know too that it's not that it's not being passed down, it's that also certain people aren't receiving certain knowledge to be able to pass that down. So there's really nothing there that they can. But there is something there always that you can try to teach a kid, you know, your basic morals
Right.
and just household things that they should be getting used to. Um, that's just kind of what I look forward to now, being able to get to a certain
Mm-hmm.
age and just say, like I'm happy with how things were, how my daughters were raised, um, the life that I was able to provide for them, uh, and that's just my motivation now for living and life and just being able to provide provide a better family environment for my family, regardless of whether it
Mm-hmm.
means that I have to struggle for a little bit in order to work my way into a new company or whatever the situation is. Enjoying it, you know, and just like Jocko, man, I'm
Yeah.
just saying good,
That
good, good, because it's only
good.
going to make me stronger and it's going to make me better to then be able to continue whatever other situations in it, because it's not going to get easier for me. It's not. I have three daughters. It's going to get real bad for me
Mm-hmm.
in a couple of
Right.
years. So I got to start now to kind of be very centered, be very balanced, because it's going to be very crazy in a couple of years when they're all teenagers. Ah,
For sure. It, and that's the thing. Like it, it doesn't get easier. You know,
no.
it doesn't. Um, it's only gonna get harder. I think we all fantasize on having this easy life and then being happy, healthy, all that good stuff. There's always going to be something. Um, but each something you can learn, you learn and to handle the next something. So, um, yeah, you know, doing the best we can. So,
Yeah, doing the best we can. And that's good
yep,
stop point there for this podcast episode. Um, Next week we'll probably have Nate join us, and we can finally provide that podcast episode on technology. Uh, yeah, thank you for joining me, Mike. Appreciate it.
yeah. Thank, thanks for having me. As always, it's always good to be here. I'm glad to be back, and I always get kind of recharged after every episode we record. So, uh,
Yeah, that's what we got to keep it now consistent again.
yep,
Alrighty,
for sure, for sure.
later.
All right. Later.